Hi everyone, my name is Ashley, and over the past month I was in South Africa in Johannesburg with the Grace Baptist Mission and Vision team. I was there for the past 4 weeks with a team of 5 other people. So there's Joshua, Simeon, Alex, who's the team leader, myself, who was the treasurer for our team, Josie, and Zani. And you might all be wondering, like, how did 6 strangers get along? Like, was everything fine? Thankfully, we all got along very, very well. We all had different personalities, but that also enabled us to serve really well together as a team. At some points, we did have a bit of conflict, but that was all resolved as well during the team. I think we definitely was able to serve very well because we were all united through Christ, and we were all there with the same purpose and mission, and we were all there to serve. So for our first week, we traveled from Johannesburg to Welkom, and we served at Morning Star, which is a social progress center for kids. So most of the kids in this center, they have either suffered with HIV or AIDS or are currently recovering from it as well. So during the week, what we did was prepped Bible stories and lessons and taught the kids. So we had kids ranging all the way from about 3 to 4 years old up to 9 and 10-year-olds. So we did Bible lessons with them. We played games, did crafts with them. We also helped to prepare lunch for them, served them lunch, and just spend time with them and really get to know them and pray for them and help them as well. Even over the week, I think one of the things that I found was quite a cultural difference was actually, if you look at the bottom left picture, I did a lesson on Daniel in the lion's den, and it was just one of those questions that was imagine if you were Daniel and you were in a lion's den, how would you feel? Would you be afraid? And they were like, no, and no, we're not. And I was like, well, actually, because in South Africa, it's a lot more common compared to the UK to have animals, to see these animals that are not so common to us, like zebras and lions. And to them, it was something that they enjoyed, which we were like, oh, okay, well, moving on. I would have been afraid. So that was quite an interesting experience. And one of the things that was quite interesting to see and also learn about was actually the poverty gap in South Africa. So every morning they would have a transport van that would pick these kids up from their homes. And so we would go to these places called squatter camps, where they are tin houses that the children and their family live in. So they come from quite difficult living conditions, and just to see how happy they are, despite how little they are given, just to see that joy. And every morning we discussed as a team that actually was quite sad when we picked them up. So it was winter in South Africa at that time, and they just come in with really cold hands, which was quite sad to see actually. So for our second week, we traveled back to Johannesburg, and that was where we were preparing for the Holiday Bible Club at Honeyridge Baptist Church, which was the main church that we were linked with when going to South Africa. So the theme for the Holiday Bible Club is magnified, so which is seeing the bigness of God in the small things. So for the decorations as a team, we were trying to do like the butterflies, ladybugs, and all of that. That was just really, really good fun, and just getting to know people in the church as well. So that was quite a restful week, and during that time, we also did a lot of sightseeing around Johannesburg. So it was just great to see the country, and I think one of the things I really enjoyed was seeing all the animals around, just seeing God's creation and being in awe and wonder of it. It was crazy that we got to hold lion cubs and snakes and everything, which makes us understand why kids are not afraid of being in a lion's den. So that was really good experience, and we also got to go to the lion and rhino park in a place called Boskoppie, and another one in Johannesburg as well. So for our third week, we started serving at the Holiday Bible Club at Honeyridge. So this picture here is some of the young people from the church who we served with over the week. On the left is most of the team, so we have team leaders, helpers, and the crew as well. It was quite a big holiday club. There was about 300 kids in total, so really big compared to what we have here. there are different talks that they have during the day. So they have a different session for grade 6 and 7s, and grade 1 to 5 will have a main talk in the big hall. And yeah, just different worship sessions. So I was there as a team leader for the year 7 girls, which is 13-year-olds. So their primary school would be from year 1 to year 7. Yeah, I think I was kind of thrown in the deep end. So one of the challenging things that week was I had 12 year 7 girls, and one of the girls, as they were going around introducing themselves, she mentioned, Miss, do you know my name? And I was like, so many of you, that's just me, I can't remember everyone's name on day 1. So I was like, no, I don't. And she was like, right, that shows that you're not listening to me, and so I'm not going to listen to you during the rest of this time. And I was like, what do I say? And that was during our first small group session. So it was quite hard to break through and really get to them. But as the week went by, they're just a really lovely group of girls who come from really difficult backgrounds. So I think they all have their guard up, and it's just getting to know them, talking to them as well. I think when we had a session of just prayer requests, and actually you see a lot of them are struggling with difficult families, dealing with alcohol or drugs and substances and a lot of that. So yeah, I think just being there for them, talking to them and just showing love and caring for them, that's really what they needed. And it was just a privilege being able to share the gospel with them, and just talking more about Jesus. And for our final week, we volunteered at Tandanani House of Refuge, which is an orphanage that is run by the church. So similarly to Morning Star, we were there to read Bible stories to them, have lessons with them, just kind of prepare lunch and help serve as well, and just to play games, do a bit of craft and spend time with them. So we had sessions where they had either the option to go out and play football, or running around games, or just to stay in and do craft and board games. They're just giving them the option, and also just doing what they usually do with them, but just talking to them and just showing care and love. Another thing that we did as well was we volunteered at the Shepherd Garden Center. So that is a center that is focused on people who are homeless. So they go in a cycle of actually they come here to start working and get out of addiction and problems that they're in, and then slowly the purpose is to get them back into the job market and get them off the street. So there was different sections, so helping out in the shop where these people get vouchers and they get to buy clothes for themselves and their families and necessities that they need, but also helping out in the garden where they use these crops to sell and to get money to help upkeep the center as well. There's also a devotion and Bible study session in the morning, which we were able to be part of, and just kind of talking to the people and hearing about their stories and sharing about our own journeys. I would also like to thank everyone for partnering with me prayerfully and financially over this time. So I was able to raise over £2,600 during my time there, and this is just a breakdown of how I've spent my money across flights, accommodation, and all the things that I had to use for in South Africa. And the remains of the money that I had was then given and divided amongst Morning Star, Tandanani, and Grace Baptist Mission. Yeah, one of the things that I've learned is really how to depend on God. May that be financially, but also just seeing how God can use me in different situations and circumstances, and that if He's called me there, He will use me. And I've learned so much during that trip from the people, and I hope I was able to serve them well as well. One of the things I just enjoyed was being able to serve and using what God has given me here and the things I've learned here to help people over there. So one of the questions Peter asked me was, what would I say to someone who would like to do a similar kind of mission but perhaps is a little bit nervous? I think I would say that after speaking to the whole team, we've realized that actually you can never be 100% ready or feel 100% equipped to go on a trip like this. But God showed me that actually He uses people who are imperfect, that that like we don't know everything. There is still so much we can learn, but there's also so much we can give. And that is actually through our brokenness and our weakness, that is where we really see God working in our lives. And that is how we reach people. Yeah. Thank you so much.